I've got a list of every fully evolved Pokemon in the series, and we're gonna rank them by how likely they are to get a new Mega Evolution in Legends Z-A. I think we should start with one I'm a bit more passionate about, maybe Excadrill. I think we could plonk him 75%. I think there's mainly two reasons I believe Excadrill is much more likely to get a Mega Evolution than most Pokemon. First of all, of course, it's from Unova, and Unova is very heavily tied and linked to Kalos. It could literally just be because, you know, Kalos is the next game after Unova, but you still can't deny there is a strong link between the two games. Despite this, actually, there's only one Unova Pokemon that can Mega Evolve. I think Game Freak will take the criticism on board. I think they're going to look at a lot of Generation 5 and Generation 6 Pokemon, and I think that's where the majority of these new Mega Evolutions are going to go. The second reason I think is that Excadrill is kind of like a construction-themed Pokemon, not like perhaps as explicitly as Conkeldurr or Diggersby, but it's a drill. It's a drill. It can be used for construction. And Pokemon Legends Z-A is obviously based on the redevelopment of Lumio City. That we can see scaffolding in the trailer. There's obviously at the very least a little bit of rebuilding being done. And so in a game themed around construction, what Pokemon would be better than Excadrill, who's also a fan favorite? And on top of being a fan favorite, is definitely a fan favorite that would need a Mega Evolution to be a bit stronger compared to recent generations of Pokemon. After we've got every Pokemon sorted in this table, we'll pick the 26 most likely to get new Mega Evolutions, because that's how many new Mega Evolutions were introduced in X and Y. Let's start from the top here. Butterfree, I don't think is that likely. It does have a Gigantamax form. Its counterpart Beedrill does get a Mega Evolution, which I think makes it a bit more likely. I'm thinking of dropping it around 25%. I think that makes sense to me. Raticate, I think it's just too basic a Pokemon. I think honestly, I think that's our first 0%. Fearow could be cool. I could see that maybe around 50%. I'm kind of putting one in each category. Can we get a 100% next? What's a Pokemon I'm convinced is 100% gonna get a Mega Evolution? Wait, hang on. I know some Pokemon that are definitely getting Mega Evolutions. Obviously the Generation 6 starters, Chestnut, Delphox, and Greninja. These Pokemon were disrespected like crazy when Pokemon X and Y released. They totally should have got Mega Evolutions. I don't know why they didn't get Mega Evolutions. I said this in another video, but there's actually only one Kalos Pokemon. Similar to Unova, there's only one Kalos Pokemon that can Mega Evolve. And it's just such a weird decision that the starters wouldn't get Mega Evolutions. They changed this in Generation 7 and Generation 8. Generation 7, the main gimmick Z-moves, the starters got their own special Z-moves. In Generation 8, the starters got their own Gigantamax forms. There's no way they don't correct that mistake in Legends Z-A and give them new Mega Evolutions. Oh, I should also mention, this list does include some Generation 9 Pokemon. Most of them are going to be ranked at 0%. I think it's way too soon for them to be getting Mega Evolutions, but there's actually two Generation 9 Pokemon I want to mention, because I think they're definitely the most likely, but we'll get around to talking to them in a second. First, let's go back to the beginning of this list. We need to start rattling through these quite quickly, actually. Nidoking and Nidoqueen would be funny in a region inspired by France, and they're quite popular. They're also poison types, which would make them useful. If they got Mega Evolutions, it would make them useful against fairy types. I could see that happening. Let's pop them in 50% again. Clefable. I could see Clefable getting a... I suppose it's between Clefable or Wigglytuff. Maybe we pop them in 50% as well. I'm putting everything in 50%. Maybe we should bring some of these down. What are some 0% Pokemon? Persian, I think, could be 0%. Meowth already has like 2 regional forms and a Gigantamax form. That's way too much. I don't think Persian needs a Mega Evolution. Ditto is probably 0%. I think any gimmick Pokemon is probably 0%. Smeargle is probably 0%. Shedinja is probably 0%. I don't think Furfrou is gonna get a Mega Evolution. And I don't think Wishy-Washy is gonna get a Mega Evolution. That brings us up to a total of 7 at 0%. I think that's a bit more balanced now. Vileplume, I might even put 0%. It's already a Grass and Poison type. We already have a Grass and Poison type Mega Evolution from Generation 1. There's not much they can do that differentiates it from Mega Venusaur. Parasect, 25%. I think the design could go further. It's a relatively popular Pokemon. I think it has a chance. Venomoth, I'm going to put 25% as well. So there's really loud noises. Pretend there's not really loud noise. Arcanine, it's kind of nearing 75%. I might put it in 75%. I think I will. It's a very popular Pokemon. It's the legendary Pokemon. That's its classification in the Pokedex. It's a very popular Pokemon. It could definitely be competitively viable with a Mega Evolution, and I think a lot of people would love to see it. My champ is between 25 and 50 because it does already have a G-Max form. I think 25. Victory Bell, I want to put a 0% as well because it's already a Grass and Poison type, and like I said, but I think I could put it at 25 because it does at least have like differences to Mega Venusaur. Farfetch'd, it's between 0 and 25. Let's put it at 0. Let's put it at 25%. It does have a regional form and a regional evolution. I don't want to make it seem like I'm saying any Pokemon that has a regional form can't also have a Mega Evolution. It's obviously not true. I think it is definitely a factor though. Farfetch'd not the most popular. It doesn't really have anywhere for its base design to go, but I'm putting it at 25% just because you can get it pretty early in Pokemon X and Y, so that could be a factor for them considering a Mega Evolution. Hypno. Is that Hypno? I can't remember. 0% as well. I think it's too similar to Alakazam, and also much less popular than Alakazam. Electrode. I think dude, I could put it in 50% just based off of like a theoretical design alone, because I could totally see like a purple Master Ball Mega Electrode, and that's the only reason I'm putting it at 50%. Executor, probably 0%. It does have its regional form. It's probably one of, if not the most popular regional form, and I'm not sure they'd want to give it a Mega Evolution as well. Especially when the regional form is so similar to its base form. It kind of limits the options they have for designing a Mega Evolution. Seaking, I could see, pun intended, I could see it getting a Mega Evolution. Its counterpart Gyarados does. At least I think it's a counterpart. Maybe I should make another tier right at the top here for counterparts, just so I can easily differentiate them. Taurus literally just got a regional form. Actually got like 3 regional forms, which was crazy. So I can't see it getting a Mega Evolution so soon after that. Lapras, I think it could be a 50. I could see it at 75, but I think I'm gonna put it at 50. It's a very beloved Generation 1 Pokemon. You get a gift Lapras in Generation 6, just after the 3rd gym. I grew up in Pokemon X and Y, and Lapras is kind of seared into my brain because of that. I think I might even put it at 75. I don't think any of the evolutions are gonna get Mega Evolutions, because if you give it to like any of them, you have to give it to the other like 7 or however many it is nowadays, and I think that's just way too many Mega Evolutions. I think Sylveon is probably the most likely of the evolutions to get a Mega Evolution. It doesn't really have a counterpart like the other ones do. Of course, there's the 3 Generation 1 ones. There's Espeon and Umbreon who are linked. There's Glaceon and Leafeon, not in that order, that are linked. But Sylveon's the only one that's on its own. I could see it getting a Mega Evolution. I wouldn't say it's very likely at all. Snorlax, I could see at 50%. It's a very beloved, iconic Pokemon. It's got a role in Generation 6. Its design can definitely go further. I think the only thing keeping it from 75% is the fact that it already has a Gigantamax form. The legendary birds. I could see the legendary birds getting Mega Evolutions. I feel like at least one legendary Pokemon has to get a Mega Evolution. Maybe we'll get another row up here. We'll call it legendary, just so we can like organize them. Okay, you guys go up here until we can decide what to do with you. You two, Mew. You go up, you're kind of more of a mythical, but you're going up there anyway. Dragonite. Dragonite is definitely between 75 and 100%. Pretty much every other pseudo-legendary has a Mega Evolution. Dragonite's missing one, but Tyranitar and Metagross have one, Salamence has one, Garchomp has one. Of course, the only other 2 missing are Hydreigon and Goodra. I think the only thing that I think kept Dragonite from getting a Mega Evolution in X and Y was the fact that its name ends in "ite." If you don't know, every Megastone is the Pokemon's name ending in "ite." Venusaur's is the Venusaurite, Charizard's is the Charizardite, Blastoise is the Blastoiseite. So there were a lot of jokes around that time, like what would happen if Dragonite got a Mega Evolution? It'd be the Dragoniteite. And that's really the only thing keeping it, I think, that stopped it from getting a Mega Evolution. I would love to see them do it anyway, though. Oh, these are some interesting ones. Meganium and Feraligatr. Well, let's put Typhlosion at 0%. Typhlosion, I don't think it's even in the game. Meganium and Typhlosion, though. Of course, these are 2 of the starters in Pokémon Legends Z-A. Of course, the question is, do they get Mega Evolutions or do they get regional forms? I think for the sake of this video, though, we can put them at 100% along with the Generation 6 starters. We should also grab Emboar while we're here. Let's pop them up there as well. Okay, Lightning Round Part 2. Furret, probably not. Noctowl, probably not. Ledian, maybe. I could see them giving it a Mega Evolution to make it a bit stronger. It is in the route just after the 1st gym. I'll pop it in 25% because not very many people care about it. I know there's one Ledibur fan, at least one Ledibur fan, that watches my videos, so I'm very sorry to them. Ariados, probably not. Crobat, I could see it happening, but unlikely. Lantern, I don't think so. Xatu, I don't think so. Blossom, possible, but I don't think so. Azumarill, I could see it happening. It's in the first round after Santaloon Forest. It is a fairy type as well. It's got a pretty rare typing, water and fairy. It's very popular. Sudowoodo, I could even see that at 75%, but I'm gonna put it at 50%. It's a beloved Pokemon. Its design could definitely be taken further. This table is getting big. My screen is. I need to zoom out. My screen's getting too small for it. Unknown. There were Unknown at the first Pokemon Presents that announced Legends Z-A, but they don't really have anything to do with Generation 6, so I'll probably put them at 0. Delibird, that's a good one. Delibird. I believe you find it just before the 8th gym. I think it's just before the 7th gym, actually. Yeah, no, it's just before Anastar City. What would it be doing in Lumio City? That's my only question. How would it fit into the game? How would it be important? There's no trainers that use it. It's somewhat popular, but it's not got any competitive relevance. I could put it at 25%. There's just something calling me to it. Skarmory, that is a good one. I think Skarmory, it's between 50 and 75, I think. It's a very popular Pokemon. It was the only steel and flying Pokemon for a long time. I think up until Generation 7, when they introduced Celesteela. It's easily got a place in Lumio City. It's a bird, it's a steel bird. Obviously, it's gonna be in a city. But it's like a Generation 2 Pokemon. I think its design definitely could be taken further by a new Mega Evolution. I could definitely see that happening. I think we should move Skarmory up. I think that's a good shout for now. There we go. Is this getting too small for anyone to read yet? Miltank. I actually do think it could. I don't think I can justify higher than 50%, but I think it could. It was very iconic in Generation 2 and Generation 4 because Whitney uses a Miltank that's historically difficult to beat. At least that's what all the memes say. I kind of just like spam leveled up my Poliwrath, and I kind of swept through the team, but that's neither here nor there. Blissey, I think Blissey's kind of in the same boat as the other big pink fairy type. So Blissey's not a fairy type, but it's pink and it's big. They all used to be normal types, but then these two defected. So they're kind of in the same boat, in my opinion. It's not like a Pokemon I felt very passionate about in a while. I feel like we're not going to hit anything that I can talk about for a good few minutes until we get to Generation 5. I feel like that's when we're really going to start locking in some answers. I don't think we're going to see many Generation 3 Mega Evolutions, just because Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire already added so many. So I could see, I might just start dumping a bunch of these Pokemon in 0%. All the ones who like I don't think have any reason to get a Mega Evolution. Grumpig, Spinder, and now we've hit Flygon. No, we'll do Flygon last. We'll do Flygon last. I refuse to. We need to zoom out again. I refuse to touch Flygon right now. Cacturn, Zangoose, Viper, Lunatone, Solrock, Whiscash, Claydol, the fossils, Cast Form. Okay, we've got a small selection of Generation 3 Pokemon to look at. Let's slow down for a second and look at the Generation 3 Pokemon that I think could get Mega Evolutions. Ludicolo is a very iconic Pokemon. A lot of people love it. It has competitive relevance. It used to be used on rain teams. Not sure it has any link to Lumio City, but I think that's fine. I think we can probably place it in. I could see it at 50%. Its design could definitely be exaggerated for a Mega Evolution. I could easily see it happening. Shiftry is its counterpart, but I think it's less popular, so I might put it at 25. Dude, this is actually way too small. I think I need to zoom in. This is way too small. Pelipper is also a very iconic Pokemon. It's still used to this day competitively because it has the access to the ability Drizzle, which makes it really good. It's fairly popular. I'm pretty sure it's quite popular. I'm sure a lot of people like it. Might be wrong on that, but I'm pretty sure. I could see it going at 50%. Breloom, another very popular Pokemon. Its design could easily be taken further. A lot of these Pokemon don't have links to Kalos, which is mainly my issue. Slacking is kind of a gimmick Pokemon, and its stats, it's got like a base stat of like 670 or something like that. I feel like you can't do much with a Mega Evolution without making it either extremely gimmicky or extremely overpowered. So I think we can put it at 0%. I might put Blossom at 0%. It doesn't really do much. All right, Lightning Round Part 3, I think. Swalot. I don't think so, but I'll put it at 25% because it was used by Team Flare. Wailord, I could see it getting a Mega Evolution, but at the same time, what do you really do with it? You can't make it bigger. 0%. Torkoal. I think it's the same as Pelipper. It's very popular. It's got a good ability. It's used competitively. We're 25, 50%. Flygon, we're not touching you until the end of the video. I'm sorry, Flygon. Crawdaunt. 25%. Milotic, I could even see it at 75%. I don't know. If someone else would have put it at 75%, I would understand, but I don't think I'm going to. Tropius, I think its design could be exaggerated a bit. I think that would be interesting. I think it'd be an interesting design to see what will be done. I think 25% though. Love Disc, I could easily see getting a Mega Evolution. It's very common in Kalos, I believe, and it's a very, not necessarily popular, very well known, but perhaps iconic or beloved Pokemon. Torterra, Infernape, and Empoleon. 0. And these specific Pokemon, this is dedicated to all the people who told me that Empoleon was definitely going to be the starter Pokemon in Legends Z-A. I made so many videos about the starter Pokemon, and in each and every one I said it's not going to be Piplup, it's never going to be Piplup, and people called me crazy, they called me stupid. I got so many hate comments, and I was right. So I don't know what came over. I don't know what came over me. I really needed to get that one out. Okay, Staraptor, I could definitely see getting a Mega Evolution. It's incredibly popular. It's a Generation 4 Pokemon, and I believe the Generation 4 Pokemon are some of the most popular, alongside like you know Lucario, Luxray. Talking about Luxray, I think it's similarly 50%. Roserade, it is seen in the design of some areas in ZA's Lumio City. It's another grass poison type, but it is visually distinct from Venusaur. It's also like a flower Pokemon, and Kalos has a lot of flowers in X and Y. I could see it at 50%. Wormadam, 0. Mothim, 0. Vespiquen, 25%. I'm kind of like, it has it's a bee Pokemon, and bees are associated with honey, and honey was an item that allowed you to activate horde battles in Pokemon X and Y, which were like a new and unique feature for that generation. I think that's the only thing bringing it to 25%. Cherrim, kind of a gimmick Pokemon. Gastrodon, very popular actually. Ambipom, it's just like such a nothing. Can we get another 75%? I've been doing like 50, 25, and 0. I want another 75%. I think we're gonna have to look at Generation 5 and 6 again. Oh, I didn't want to mention this earlier. I wanted to mention this late into the video because I've talked about this Pokemon so many times. I think my subscribers are gonna get pretty tired of it at this point. Talking about subscribers, if you're enjoying the video, you can subscribe. I'll be reacting to the Pokemon Presents live on this channel, so if you turn on notifications, you'll be able to see that, see my reactions to whatever I get right, whatever I get wrong. I talk a lot about Mega Pyroar. I might even put it at 100%. I can't put it at 100%. I cannot put it at 100%, but I am personally convinced we're gonna get a Mega Pyroar. It is featured so heavily throughout the first 2 trailers. It's the first Pokemon we see in the original teaser, apart from Pikachu. There's at least 2 massive statues of Pyroar in ZA's Lumio City. It's also a very boring Pokemon. I think if they want to reignite, pun intended, if they want to reignite people's appreciation for it, I think a Mega Evolution is definitely the way to go about it. I could see Chandelure at 75%. It's one of the most popular Pokemon of all time. It's a Generation 5 Pokemon, which boosts its odds even further. We know it is in Legends Z-A. There's not really much more to say about it. I think its design could definitely be taken further as well. Oh, Pyroar. I've completely forgot one of the talking points about Pyroar. Pyroar is also used by one of the members of the Elite Four. So if the Elite Four are returning in ZA, the great chance for it to get a Mega Evolution. It's also used by Lysander. If Lysander returns, which isn't impossible, they do already have a Mega Gyarados, but Mega Pyroar, it's on the table. It's still on the table. Drapion, oh, I've got to try hard to really not be biased here. I love Drapion. I think it's used by Team Flare, isn't it? It's used by someone, so I might put it at 25%. Toxicroak, also used by Team Flare. I think that's enough to range, but it's I feel like it might be 50 because there's enough of a possible design there. I think it's popular enough. Carnivine, don't think so. Luminion, don't think so. Weavile does have a regional form and a regional evolution. And there is another Dark Ice Pokemon running around at the moment in the form of Shenpao. I could still see it at 50% though. It's such a popular Pokemon. Magnezone, I would love to see a Mega Magnezone. I believe Magneton is used by Clement, which is in Lumio City. His gym is in Lumio City. I think that's enough to bring it to 50%. Licky, God, I hope not. Rhyperior, God, I hope not. Tangrowth, God, I hope not. Just kidding, I actually like Tangrowth. I think we can put it at 25%. Mamoswine, I actually could see happening. I might even put it 50%. It's used as a ride Pokemon in Pokemon X and Y. There is a bit of the story that relates to it. I think it also could be an interesting counterpart to a Abomasnow. I think it could happen. I'm gonna put it at 50%. Watchog, I put it at 50%. I might even put it at 75%. It's in the game. It's construction themed. It's wearing a high-vis jacket, kind of. It's not very beloved Pokemon, but I would love to see it get a Mega Evolution, sort of retribution. Conkeldurr, it is between 75% and I think if Watchog is here, I think I have to put Conkeldurr here as well. It is construction themed, like Watchog and Excadrill. It's not as popular as Excadrill. If I had to rank these, I'd definitely put Excadrill above Conkeldurr. Whimsicott, I don't think it can get a Mega Evolution because it is one of the best Pokemon competitively. Maractus, I can actually see Maractus, but I can't really put it higher than 50% because it's not that popular. But I think its design, it could easily be given a Mega Evolution. Crustle, I mentioned these two actually, Crustle and Scrafty in the last video I made, so I kind of have to stick to that. Crustle I could see at 50%. I don't think it has the same justifications as some of the Pokemon at 75%. Scrafty is definitely between 75 and 50. It's a very popular Pokemon. I think it's used by Team Flare actually, so I think I could put it there at 75%. Garbodor, I want to put it at 50%, but the fact it just got a Gigantamax form kind of limits it. But I would definitely love to see it. I think it definitely is possible. I feel like I could put it at 50%. It used to be one of the least popular Pokemon, but I feel like it's really picked up in recent years. Maybe it just in the past decade. I really love it. I've always loved it. I've always been a day one Garbodor supporter. Zoroark, I might just be able to reach 50% just because it's that popular. But maybe it belongs in 25% because it is sort of a gimmicky Pokemon, and it did just get a regional form in Legends Arceus. Once again, one of the most popular regional forms of all time. Swanna, so I'm trying to figure out a joke between like Wanna and Swanna. Like, I Swanna put it at 75%, but it doesn't really roll off the tongue. Anyway, Vanillux, I also talked about this in the last video I did. I would love to see it. You can definitely bring its design even further with Mega Evolution. There's definitely emphasis you can do. I think it'd be funny. It's a very ironically popular Pokemon because it used to be very unpopular, very similar to Garbodor actually. But I don't think I can justify higher than 50%. I would love to. I would really love to though. Emolga, used by Clement, I think in Lumia City, the Electro Type Gym, I could see that getting a Mega Evolution. Amoonguss is the Pokemon I was talking when we were talking about Whimsicott. Very similar to Whimsicott because it is one of the most powerful Pokemon competitively. It is pretty consistently in the top 5 usage because it is just that good. I don't think you can give it a Mega Evolution without making it way too overpowered. Galvantula is an electric type, so I think that automatically makes it more likely because we're set in Lumios by the Prism Tower, the ex-electric type gym, or maybe still is an electric type gym, I don't know. So I could put it for 50%. It's also very popular, so I think that definitely serves it well. Ferrothorn, I love Ferrothorn. It's found in a few caves in Kalos, so it definitely has that link to Kalos. I think it's fairly popular as well. I think a Mega Evolution could be really good. I think it'd be really interesting. I'd love to see it. Probably like one of my top 20, 30 Mega Evolutions if I had to make a wish list, but I don't think I can put it. I don't think it's much more likely than other Pokemon at 50%. Electros, I could see getting a Mega Evolution. Once again, it's very popular. It's an electric type. I feel like I'm repeating myself a lot. Once again, I don't think there's much more to predict apart from those two facts. It's not LGM, Behem. I would love to see it get a Mega Evolution. It's probably one of, if not the most underrated Gen 5 Pokemon in my opinion. I'm constantly forgetting it exists, and I feel like it's just too generic a psychic type Pokemon. I would love it to get something unique, something just its own selling point, so it could finally be a unique Pokemon. I might even put it at 50% for that, just because I think it desperately needs one, and I think Game Freak could recognize that. We've been going very fast paced for like ages. I think we need to slow down and look at perhaps a few Pokemon that I can talk about more in depth. Hydreigon, I think, is one of them. It's, of course, we were talking about pseudo-legendaries. Hydreigon is one of 3 pseudo-legendaries that doesn't yet have a Mega Evolution, which I think makes it a lot more likely because it's already very powerful, but it's not as powerful as it could be. I'd love it to get an ability that kind of makes it stronger against Fairy-type Pokemon, because at the moment, One of its most glaring weaknesses is the fact it has a 4 times weakness to fairy type attacks. And I'd love to see a Mega Evolution kind of counter that. Maybe a ability that makes it immune to fairy type attacks, which I think could be useful because fairy type Pokemon are very powerful, or an ability that weakens fairy type Pokemon or makes fairy type moves not very effective, something like that. Volcarona, I think, is in a pretty similar boat. It's one of the most popular Generation 5 Pokemon. It's kind of similar to Zoroark, I think, more accurately. There's something I don't like about the idea of Volcarona getting a Mega Evolution, but I'm not sure what it is. And if I can't vocalize it, then I don't think it's fair to put it lower than 75% for now. Goodra, I have been considering a Mega Goodra for the longest time. Logic would dictate that it goes in 75% with Dragonite and Hydreigon. The only thing that's making me think maybe lower is that it's not as popular as those two, and it's also a lot weaker than those two. But I think I could put it at 75% because I'd love to see, in a similar vein to the potential Hydreigon Mega Evolution I was talking about, I'd love to see a Dragon and Poison Mega Goodra. It gives it more of an edge against the Fairy type Pokemon because it was kind of screwed. In its first generation, they immediately introduced Fairy type Pokemon to easily counter it. Goodra is a very weak Pokemon. It doesn't do much damage, so a Mega Evolution could easily fix that. With a good ability and a good typing, I think it could be legendary. Hawlucha, I mentioned this in a video a while ago, but I'd love to see a Mega Hawlucha. Hawlucha is used by Coroner, the Mega Evolution successor, I think her title is. I'd love to see Hawlucha get some love over Lucario. It seems like they're not really doing that. They're shifting the focus back onto Lucario, kind of as the face of Mega Evolution. It was just introduced in the anime. Of course, it's the face of one of the new TCG sets as well. So maybe that kind of brings it closer to 25%. Maybe they wouldn't want to give it a Mega Evolution in the same generation. They're still focusing on Lucario. But I'm going to be optimistic. I'm going to put it at 50%. I think it could be really interesting. And it would also give a reason for the story to focus on Coroner, and I'd love to see her again in ZA. I think there's a pretty good chance she shows up. Okay, back to it. Lightning round part like 5 or 6 or something. Stunfisk, I can't see it happening. Mienshao, can't see it happening. Dragon, maybe could see it happening, but not by a lot. I think you can find it on Victory Road. Golurk, I actually could see happening. 50. It's one of AZ's Pokemon. I could see it getting a Mega Evolution. Braviary, can't really see it happening. Maybe I'll put it at 25% just because I could see Mandibuzz getting one to kind of counteract Braviary's regional form, which of course Mandibuzz didn't get. Braviary should maybe be put in 0% because of that, but I'd rather have them together. Diggersby, we did bring up earlier, is another construction-themed Pokemon like Excadrill, Conkeldurr, and Watchog. I'd love to put it at 100% because it obviously does get a boost from being a Kalos Pokemon, but I think just because it's so unpopular, I think I can't really put it higher than Excadrill. Talonflame is a very popular Pokemon, and I think you could easily make a Mega Evolution design for it. It's based off of Phoenix, so I could see some sort of, aspects of rebirth. That's what Phoenix is meant to symbolize. I could see some symbol of rebirth, really focusing on the fiery aspects, light it on fire, and call it a Mega Evolution. I might even put it at 100%. I might. I think I could. It's a very popular Pokemon. It's from Kalos. You could easily make a good design out of it. It's used by Malva of the Elite Four, I think. I feel like it's definitely the most likely one. If we put it in 75%, I'd probably put it at the very top. But for now, we're going to keep it at 100%. Maybe I'll change my mind later. Florges, I might put it at 75%. I'd love to put it at 100, but I don't think I can justify it because I don't think it's that popular. But it's, in my eyes personally, my first ever Pokemon games were Pokemon X and Y, so I've kind of always seen Florges as the fairy type. If you ask me to imagine a fairy type Pokemon, it is going to be Florges. Not giving it a Mega Evolution in X and Y was so evil. Gogoat, I think, has a good shot. It's between 50 and 75. It's used as a ride Pokemon in Lumio City. Skiddo is used as a ride Pokemon slightly outside of Lumio City as well. Assuming ride Pokemon are in the game similar to Legends Arceus, I think it would definitely have a good shot. So maybe we could drop it at 75%. Pangoro. This is another one I really wanted to talk about. The character Vinny, introduced in the second Pokemon Legends Z-A trailer, is very clearly themed around Pangoro. They wear a black suit with green accents. They have a Pangoro pin in their hair. They're obviously meant to be themed around Pangoro. When I first saw this, I was like 100% Pangoro is getting a Mega Evolution, but there is a few things that could make it a little less likely. First, Vinny also has I think it's either Lopunny or Baneri as a pin. which is another fighting type Pokemon that already has a Mega Evolution. There is also what I like to call the clothing rule. I think that's what I called it. But it's very common in Pokemon that you'll get like a named character that will have a visual connection to an existing Pokemon, but then that Pokemon does not exist in the game. The most recent example is that the director of Blueberry Academy, I can't remember his name, I think Cyrano maybe, but he has a bit of clothing that's very similar to Aegislash, but of course Aegislash is not in the game. The history teacher Rhyforce, I think her name is, it has like a Marshadow pin. Of course, Marshadow isn't in the game, so that could push it maybe towards 50%, but you know, every rule does have an exception. So I think we could maybe justify keeping it at 75%. Meowstic, also talked about this in the last video. A few weeks ago, maybe a month ago, we did get confirmation that Emma will be returning. She's a character from the X and Y post game, and her partner Pokemon is Esper. It's likely been 12 years since Pokemon X and Y. She's all grown up. She probably has a Meowstic now, and she never really used it for battling, I don't think. But if she did, that could be a really good shout for a Mega Meowstic. While we're here, that's the exact same reason I have for a Mega Malamar. She does own a Malamar, she got it from Xerosic, and she does use it to battle. She also uses Volcarona, actually, so that's another good point for Volcarona. Aegislash, honestly, I'm confident enough to put it at 0%. It was so powerful once it was first released that it had to be nerfed going into, I think, Generation 7. Also, I think its Blade form and Shield form, it would be difficult to translate to Mega Evolution. I think it would be too complicated and too powerful. I'm so confident that I'm putting it at 0%. Barbaracle, I would love to see. I think it's used by... I can't remember his name, the water type Elite Four. So I think I can put it at 50%. It's not that popular though, and I'm not sure what else you'd really do with it. Dragalge. I would love to see it to Poison and Dragon type, which I think is a really good typing for a Pokemon introduced in Generation 6. I'd love to see it do more. It's definitely between 50 and 75. I'm just not sure. Actually, I think, and her name's not Malva. What's her name? Is it like Dresden or something like that? The Dragon type Elite Four does use one. It's got a very unique typing. I feel like it might be enough to bring it to the very bottom of 75%. Clauncher or Clawitzer, I can't remember which one this is. It's very similar. It's used by the water type Elite Four. It's not really got much a unique typing or anything like that, but it does have a, I think, signature ability called Mega Launcher. Obvious joke, it begins with the word Mega. It should get a Mega Evolution. But on top of that, it's a very unique ability. I'd love to see Clauncher get more out of it. Helioptile, I think... I want to put it at 50 because I don't really like it that much. It's kind of a boring Pokemon, but at the same time, it is used by Clement. I believe it's Clement's 8th Pokemon, but I could be wrong about that. I've said it 100 times. Electric-type Gym is or was in Lumia City in the Prism Tower. Tyrantrum and Aurorus, I feel like I'm probably on the lower end. They are used by both the Champion... okay, now that I say it out loud, they are used by the Champion. I think we can put it at 50%. They're also used by the second Gym Leader. I think his name is Grant, the Rock-type Gym Leader. I love them, don't get me wrong. I just don't see how they could be implemented into the story in an interesting way. I imagine it'll just be, you know, restore these fossils, boom, you've got Tyrantrum and Aurorus. That's not really as interesting a part in the story I'd want a Pokemon with a Mega Evolution to have. But then again, it would make them very similar to Mega Aerodactyl, so I suppose it could happen. I just don't really think I can put them higher than 50%. Dedenne, it's the partner Pokemon of Bonnie, I think only in the anime though. I might be wrong about that. I've not played X and Y in a good few months. But it's Electric Fairy, it's a cool typing, it's a Pika clone. I think it will be really fitting for it to be the first Pika clone to get a Mega Evolution, but we'll see how that goes. Carbink, I would love to see a Carbink Mega Evolution. I think I got this as a comment on a video or something. Someone suggested the idea of Mega Carbink as a counterpart to Mega Diancie. So that like Mega Diancie is like the queen and Mega Carbink is like the knight or soldier protecting her. I really like that idea. That's the only reason I'm putting it at 75%. So shout out to whoever that was. Noivern, I think he's used by the Dragon type Elite Four as well. The reason I'm bringing up a lot of these characters and whether or not they use these Pokemon is it because I think a lot of XY characters could return in the Z-A Royale. And I think if they're going to be big important characters in the Z-A Royale, they could get a Mega Evolution. Noivern, it is another Dragon flying type, I think is my main issue. And there's already so many. There's Salamence, There's Rayquaza. I think the plan is, I've been recording for almost 2 hours, and when I'm recording, I have to close my window and turn off my fan so there's not any outside noise. It is really warm right now. There's a heat wave going on, and I'm boiling right now. So we're gonna do one last speed round. We're gonna get through this as quickly as possible. Ready, set, go. Toucannon, don't think it's happening. Gumshoes, don't think it's happening. A lot of these Pokemon are gonna be very low. Vikavolt is slightly higher because it's an electric type. Raquinid, can't see it happening. Lurantis, can't see it happening. Shiinotic, can't see it happening. Salazzle, can't see it happening. Beware, it's what, normal fighting? I could see it being used on Vinny's team if he is a fighting type specialist. Minior, I love Minior, but I just don't think it's happening. The only way I could see it happening, Minior is one of my favorite Pokemon. I'd love to get Mega Evolution, but the only way I could see it happening is if there's some sort of storyline with Mega Rayquaza and like space. But I wonder if perhaps they'll focus more on new Mega Evolutions and, you know, X and Y's story more so than a Mega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. I think I would prefer that, as much as I do love Mega Rayquaza. Kommo is a pseudo-legendary, but it doesn't really have many links to Kalos, and it wasn't that popular, so I think the highest I can really put it is 50%. Also has a 4x weakness to Fairy type attack, so it's very similar to Hydreigon. I'd love to see maybe a Dragon Steel Mega Evolution, something like that. Neolego, it would be cool to see that like fused form as a Mega Evolution. Let me be clear, I don't think any Ultra Beasts are going to get Mega Evolutions. I don't really want to see Ultra Beasts in the game because I want to focus more on Generation 6. I love Ultra Beasts, so if it does happen, I won't be upset. I think the most likely are going to be Neolego and Boswell. I think that those are definitely the two most popular. Pheromosa, don't really think so. Xurkitree was kind of popular. These are and it's an electric type. Kartana, too strong. Guzzlord, I could see happening. It's kind of weak compared to its other Ultra Beasts, and I'd love to see it get, you know, a boost to its stats. Naganadel, I kind of want to say no. I really want it to be saved for a Legends Alola game. My pitch for a Legends Alola game has always been that the 3 starters are Ultra Beasts. One of them is Poipole, and 2 of them are completely new. I think that'd be really cool, and maybe they could get Mega Evolutions in that game as well. I don't know. Boltund, I might even bring up to 50%. It was seen as a logo on the taxi driver, I think in the 3rd trailer. But it's also important to note that is a logo for a clothing brand, I think introduced in Generation 8. But it is at least mentioned in that game, and it is electric type, so I think 50% could be something. Toxtricity, no. Sizzlipede, no. Grapplock, maybe. It is a fighting type, and it's fairly underutilized, I think. Hatterene, no. Grimmsnarl, no. Obstagoon, no. Although would be kind of cool if it got a Mega Evolution, kind of as an homage to Generation 3 and a Mega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. Berserker, no. Oh, Phalanx. I think Phalanx could be at 50%. It is a fighting type. It could be used on Vinny's team. I think it was really underutilized in the generation it was introduced. I think it could have easily gotten a G-Max form, and I might just be saying this because Phalanx is one of my favorite Pokemon of all time. If I wasn't worried about being biased, I would put it at 100% just because I love it so much. Pincurchin, no. Frosmoth, maybe. It was very popular and never got a Mega G-Max form, rather. Dragapult is a pseudo-legendary. I think my main issue is that it's already very powerful. It's one of the stronger pseudo-legendaries, but it's very popular, so I could definitely see it happening. We'll bring it to 75% with the others. Well, with the others minus Kommo, poor guy. And we finally reached Generation 9. This is the fun part. No. Maybe, but very unlikely. No. Well, maybe it was very popular for a while. Now these are the 2 I want to talk about. Armarouge and Ceruledge. Once again, they are Generation 9 Pokemon, so I think it's unlikely that they'll get Mega Evolutions, but if any Generation 9 Pokemon does, it is definitely these 2. They have been pushed so heavily in marketing. They have pretty important roles in the anime. They're in like those animated adverts for the TCG. They're in a bunch of other advertising stuff. They are literally colored Scarlet and Violet. I'm gonna make a second prediction here, actually. Okay, first of all, let's bring them to, let's say, 50%. I think the next Pokemon that are going to be added to Smash Bros, it's either going to be Armarouge or Ceruledge or both. I think that's the most likely outcome. Bellibolt, no. Maybe. I've seen a lot of good Mega Evolution designs for this guy where he gets like a 30 yellow head. No. Maybe just because it's so incredibly popular. No, no, no. I'd love... I'm going to be a bit biased here. I'm going to put Revavroom at 25% just because I'd love it to get a Mega Evolution. It's a Steel and Poison type. I believe the only Steel and Poison type, but it's kind of ass competitively. So I just want it to be good. It would also be a great counter to Xerneas. Cyclizar, I could also see getting a Mega Evolution. Obviously, it's heavily tied to the legendary Pokemon. I'd love to see it get its own unique thing. Orthworm, no. Glamora, maybe. It's tied to Area Zero. No, 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 no way. These two are already so powerful competitively. There's no way. No, 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 no. Yeah, actually, Mega the Dunsparce only because it would be really funny. I'm just still annoyed they didn't call it Re-Dunsparce because it's like Dunsparce and redundant and Dunsparce, like it, you know, it's continuing, it's repeating. No, 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 no. And Petrunt is obviously going at 100% because it's my little channel icon. It's my little mascot. Just kidding. You're going straight to 0%, buddy. Have fun. Oh my god. I forgot I promised to do this. Flygon. No matter what, I feel like if I don't put it at 100%, I'm gonna get like actual death threats. But I can't do it. I can't bring myself to do it. I'm so sorry. I can't bring myself to do it. Oh no, it just keeps dropping. Oh, it just keeps dropping. No, it just keeps going further. No, it's all the way at 0%. Oh, just kidding. I'll put it at 25%. I can't justify it any more than that. I'm sorry, any Flygon fans out there. Here's the final image. Here's every Pokemon and its placement. We have one final thing to do. We have to decide the 26 Pokemon that I think are going to get a Mega Evolution. Obviously, I think let's just choose these first 7. I think that's a good start with 7 in 100%. I want at least one Legendary. I don't think it's going to be Zygarde because Zygarde already has an 100% form. It already has its own forms, although they're not very good. I could see it happening, but I don't think it's necessarily likely. Xerneas and Yveltal can't really get one because, as I mentioned earlier, Xerneas is really, really strong competitively. I think it would be way too overpowered if it got a Mega Evolution, and unfortunately that kind of stops Yveltal from getting one. Legendary birds are definitely possible because they're in Kalos during the time of X and Y. Mew is possible because it's related to Mewtwo. Deoxys is possible because it's related to Rayquaza. Or the Reggie Trio and Regigigas I think are possible. I think just because they got new Regis in Generation 8, I think maybe they wouldn't want to do that. Although they are of course linked to Hoenn and Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. The Swords of Justice are possible. They're based on the Three Musketeers, which is a French novel, but they did all just get Paradox forms. So that makes it a little less likely. Perhaps that means Keldeo could get one. It kind of makes it more likely. It kind of makes it more balanced compared to the other Swords of Justice. Volcanion is the only Kalos mythical that doesn't have a secondary form. Diancie already has a Mega Evolution and Hooper has its Unbound form, so I could definitely see Volcanion happening. I think that's really the only ones I could. Maybe Zeraora, but it is an electric type, and that's really the only thing going for it. That's the only reason I feel like mentioning it. I feel like there's not many good candidates for legendary Pokemon. There's some good mythicals, but there's no legendary. So I feel maybe we just have to say Zygarde, just because it's the only really relevant legendary Pokemon that could get a Mega Evolution. And I really want to add a mythical. I'm thinking Keldeo. It does already have a secondary form though, so does Meloetta. So maybe I'll bring Volcanion in actually. I think Volcanion's a better shout. Zeraora is a close second because it doesn't really have anything else going for it. So that's what, 9? So we need like 17 or more. I think Excadrill just has, I think it's just too good to not mention. Dragonite, I think, could be part of the 26. Maybe Hydreigon and Goodra as well. Pyroar, we're not gonna miss Pyroar. We cannot miss Pyroar. We'll put Pangoro here while we're talking about it. I think Malamar is more likely than Meowstic, so we'll put Malamar here. If we have space, maybe we'll put Meowstic there later. Chandelure, I think, is guaranteed just because it's literally the most popular Unova Pokemon. Maybe Florges? How many are we on now? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. We need 8 more. I do want at least one Generation 7 and one Generation 8 Pokemon. The highest Generation 8 Pokemon we have is Dragapult. What are our other options? Phalanx? Oh, I love Phalanx. Phalanx and Boltund. I should put Dragapult, but okay, do I put Phalanx? You know what? This one's for the Phalanx supporters, the Phalanx believers. We're adding Phalanx to the top 26. Screw it. I love Phalanx. I love Phalanx too much to exclude it from this list. We'll put Dragapult as well, just because I don't want to, you know, I don't want it to feel so bad. As for Generation 7, who's our highest? Maybe Togedemaru. Komodo is here. I have a few Ultra Beasts. Togedemaru, Mimikyu, Beware. I'm just gonna make a Soul Read. We're gonna say Beware. We're gonna make a Soul Read, just because I think it's a fighting type Pokemon. I think it could be used by Vinny. I'm gonna put Helioptile there, I think, just because of its ties to Lumia City. Maybe Dedenne as well? Bulbapedia says there is at least one Mega Evolved Pokemon of every type. Psychic has the most, while both Ice and Electric have the fewest. And no Mega Evolved Pokemon have Fairy, Flying, Ground, or Poison as a primary type. So maybe we can knock down a few of those while we're at it. We already have at least 2 Electric types. Do we have an Ice type? I don't think we do. What's our highest Ice type? Lapras? I think that'd actually be a pretty good shout. Fairy? I think we already have. Yeah, we have Florges as a Fairy type. There's nothing, I feel like there's not very many primary type flying Pokemon, is there? It's literally 5 Pokemon. Noivern, Corviknight, Cramorant, Bombardier, or Flamigo. I guess maybe we put Noivern up then? Where is it? Down here? And that's what, 24? No, I think that's 25 actually. We're still looking for a ground and poison primary type. We have Excadrill, we have a ground type, we just need a poison type. Perfect. Dragalge's Poison Dragon. We can add Dragalge. We've got the 3 starters from Kalos, the 3 starters from Legends Z-A. We have 1 legendary, 1 mythical. We have 1 Pokemon from Generation 7, 2 from Generation 8, but I wanted a minimum of 1. We have a primary ground type, a primary flying type, a primary poison type, a primary fairy type. We have 2 electric types, we have an ice type, and we have mostly Pokemon from Generation 5 and 6. I feel like we've balanced it pretty well. I'm pretty happy with this. Using the same list, maybe you can write down your own predictions in the comments. Tell me what you think I got absolutely wrong. Tell me what you agree with. And while you're down there, you can like the video, subscribe. It lets YouTube know I've done a good job, helps promote the video to other people. So I would really appreciate it, especially as a small YouTuber. And once again, as a reminder, I will be live streaming my reaction to the next Pokemon Presents, which is happening next week. I think it'll be in just a few days by the time I upload this video. So you should join. You should join. You should come hang out. It's gonna be hilarious when we see how much I've gotten wrong, but I'm excited for either way. Maybe I'll see you there.